Hey Aries, this is Hybrid Hipster with your first 2 weeks of general energy that you're in for January. Again, this is general energy for you guys. I'm pulling 3 oracle cards for you now just to tap into the energy that you're working with. As of the new year, we are in Capricorn energy, which invokes that work until we succeed and gain all the things that we need. You out of all Aries, you guys tend to actually kind of go with your own flow, do whatever, you know, Aries wants to do. You don't really mind the haters. You gotta just do you and move along with that. It's funny because I pulled for your energy a little bit before and you got the I do good card almost every single time I pulled. And you have a lot of communication cards in here. And again, with Aries, if I can. With Aries, I'm going to keep this one too. I actually one that's very Aries. You guys are very communicate, like you communicate with just about anybody around you. You are very skilled with doing that. You kind of remind me of a Gemini almost. You guys just flip from group to group to group to group with your good energy and your good vibes and all this other snazzy jazz, and you kind of don't take this energy that we're in now as seriously as all the rest of the signs are going to take it. You're kind of just like, well, if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. Move on to the next thing. You guys are literally just so, excuse me, I feel so up. Just very beautiful in your own way, and that's why I can appreciate your energy and what you bring to the table, because you know a lot of people have a lot to say about an Aries, but in my eyes I think that Aries again is a very beautiful energy to just be around and take in, because you guys are just such a you type of person. Like, I'm gonna be me and I don't care about what others feel about that situation at all. So it's just a very welcoming, very warm type of energy. So I'll read off your 4 cards because I cannot help but to take this last one because it looks so Aries. It really does. But your first one that you have is I converse with awareness. I act responsibly. I act respectively with others. I do good. I communicate with passion, which, you know, or compassion, passion and compassion. I get that from both angles from that card right there. But you guys really do invoke all of this energy. This is your energy. This is what Aries is. We were going to put them into cards and lay them down. This is what you would be. You try your best to stay on the positive spectrum of things. You do not enjoy being in conflict or having issues or drama with others. You don't enjoy negativity, really. You try to really just stay within that realm, in that bubble. Now, with this energy that we're in now, I'm going to assume that you're kind of finding it difficult to navigate through, because again, we're in Capricorn season. This is a very hard-headed, my way or the highway kind of energy. It's also about really focusing on long-term goals, stability type thing. Whereas Aries, I'm not saying that you don't do that, but Aries just enjoy to live in the moment. Whereas this energy is not about living in the moment. It's about thinking about your 401k and all of those other things, because that's a typical Capricorn energy. So I'm very interested on seeing how you are faring through this. When I pull your cards, again, this is going to be a general reading. It is not specific to one individual or one person. So if it does not resonate, you can move on to another video by another reader. There are multiple here. Do not try to make it fit. You might find bits and pieces within this video that do fit the situations that you're going through or who you're dealing with, but if it does not fit, do not try to make it fit. It's the worst thing you could do with things like this. If it doesn't fit, just move on. It'll be okay. So when I pull your cards, I'm going to do your present energy, and then I'm going to cycle into your future energy, which you're going to be working with towards the end of the 2 weeks, probably is when you're going to cycle through that energy. I'm going to pull your first row cards. Aries. What's Aries energies for the first 2 weeks of January? What energy are they working with in the present moment? Oh, wow. Good for you. Look at you go, Aries. You have the Magician card right out the bat. The Moon in reverse. Okay. Any other energies that they're working with in the present? Energy of... I just got like this splurge of cards. I'm not taking every single one of them. Other energies. Ooh, Aries. One more card. Okay. Eight of Wands. No communication. Ooh. Hi, Aries. And a Five of Cups. Feeling a little bit of dismay here. Wondering why that is. That's on the bottom of your deck. So let's see. Let's get down to the bottom of why you are feeling the way that you are feeling. I think honestly, you may be struggling with, dealing with the ups and downs of, again, this energy that we are in. You probably don't feel too keen or comfortable with going through this energy, especially with your type of energy. You're kind of just like, I kind of just want to, go with the flow, see what happens, see what comes with it, be positive, and be bright and sunny as I always am. So that's interesting energy to be on the Magician. So we have the Eight of Pentacles out with the Magician. The Eight of Pentacles is in reverse though. That is dropping the want or the need to put in effort or time or work into a situation. This might be a connection. You guys consecutively might have the same. Oh my. This might be family or home life that we're dealing with. All right. Oh, okay, so I kind of felt this energy of, and I'm gonna try to put it into words for you. Because right now I'm really just getting words or phrases. Oh man. Got the Eight of Sword on the bottom, and you're pulling yourself out of some fog. I feel as though with you, Aries, is you feel like you're in a restrictive again, I'm sorry if I struggle with putting this in. You feel restricted within your manifestation, because generally this is a Saggy card, but I'm not surprised that you have it, Aries. I'm really not. I'm trying to get the glare off of that, but you you feel restricted in the way that you want to manifest things and create and build your own world. You want to build a little world that is built by Aries, and you want all of the people to come in and enjoy the world that you have built. You do not want to continue playing around in other people's worlds where, again, because we're in that Capricorn season where it feels very restrictive. It feels very time sensitive almost. You don't enjoy that energy. You enjoy feeling free and just doing you. Now, I don't see anything wrong with that, but you tend to get into a state, Aries, and I do not want you to take offense to this. Please do not take offense to it. But you get into a state where you think that it doesn't matter what other people have to offer to you or what's coming into you or other people's opinions or thoughts on the matter are. When you get something stuck in your head of what you want to do and how you want to proceed doing that, you kind of just drop all the other things that, you were considering within that situation, which kind of leads you into this Temperance in reverse energy, where you are imbalanced almost. And the reason why you're imbalanced is because you're trying to manifest all of these wonderful grand things in. And again, I can't stress enough that you're doing that in a Aries world, and it's not like really linking with other people around you. And we kind of get taken away with that thought process or belief that we have the ability to do those things, or harness that ability to just do whatever we want or whatever we like. But at the end of the day, that is not the case. We can't just do whatever we would like to do. So I would definitely say to be mindful of that, because your energy is kind of splaying everywhere. It brings in the imbalance to the situation, because there's too much of this over here and so little of this over there. And you tend, like I said, you are able to micromanage and focus and do all these things, but you have such a hyperactive mind that you tend to lose concentration or lose focus on the things that you were doing previously. So, and I think that's where people get that that built idea or image of an Aries saying, oh, they're immature, or oh, they just can't keep their life together, or oh, they just can't do this or do that. And it's really not that. It's just that Aries are so willing to evolve at a quick rate that they don't really see the necessity in staying in one stagnant place for a very long time. They're just like, that doesn't sound very fun to me. I don't like that. And so, you get into this state of, you want to dismantle that almost. It's so funny to me, because you guys are so, you don't want to follow the status quo. You just don't want to do that. You do not want to do that. You're not interested at all. And that's what I'm getting just from this layout right here. You are not interested in doing that. You're telling people, no, you can keep that, poo-poo on that. I don't do that. So I'll see you later when you're ready to embrace the Aries way, because this is the way. And so you're like showing people the way. And most people, aren't going to appreciate that point of view or that way of doing things. But you know what, in my eyes, you don't really screw them. You don't have to worry about what other people are thinking. You don't. That's the greatest part about an Aries, is you guys don't. Oh wait, these are not my clarifiers. Whoa, see, I'm doing things backwards now. None of it makes any sense. Oh god, I'm jonesing in the Aries energy. But I think I like it. I think that is beautiful. I'm an Aquarian, so I don't like to do things verbatim by the book either. It drives me insane, and it makes for a very boring life. And I completely understand where you're coming from, Aries, but you gotta watch, because you'll end up in an energy where you can't kind of keep track of anything that's going on around you. You're kind of like, oh god, everything's happening too quickly. What do I do? So just be wary of that. Be wary of how you're handling, certain situations that come your way, or try to kind of like hunker down and ground yourself a little bit more, because as of right now, you kind of are not grounded. You're not very grounded as it sits for now, which like I said, is quite all right. You can live your life the way you want to. I'm just giving you advice on it, but just be wary of how you're doing that. Be wary, and also be considerate of others around you as well. Like, one of your cards is you act respectively around other people, and you converse with awareness. Before speaking, you think before you speak. But in some cases, Aries get so ahead of themselves that they don't think before they speak. They just say what they need to say, and they think that that's the right thing to say. But really, if you took the time to put yourself in someone else's shoes and see it from their point of view, then you would understand, which, again, Aries are very good at doing. That's why I say these cards will align with you so well, because you are able to kind of sit back and look at a situation. You go, that's not right. And then you speak on that. You say, this is not right. And you will write a very well worded letter, and it will be a very long letter, and it will even have a wax seal that has the Aries emblem on it. You have no problem. Like, you really don't. You say what you say, and that's it. But we had to be very mindful of that. So we have Magician in reverse now. Okay, so we're going to get into the juicy part. You have the Four of Swords on the bottom. You need to rest. See, you're tuckering yourself out. Oh, little Aries, you're tuckering yourself out. You're doing too much. You're getting all excited and crazy, and you're doing too much. So the moon in reverse is something that's being revealed to you. You are now being, you see things for what they are, people for what they are, situations for what they are. You're understanding at a more deeper level than what you were before. You have more insight on that situation, basically. It's followed by the Two of Wands with the Hierophant and then the Two of Pentacles. This tells me right here you have two cards that are twos. You got 2 wands and you got 2 pentacles. So you're balancing these things. The Two of Wands is all about having insight in these paths, and you can see clearly on what you want to do and what you want to bring in and what you're trying to do. You have the Hierophant in the middle of that. So you, again, I think it's like a battle almost with you, because as you're traveling through this new eye-opening journey, because it is a journey, that's what it's coming off as for me, is you're running into these problems of your moral stances, what you morally believe in, what you morally think to be true. And it's kind of now, and like this is what I'm saying of why it gets kind of mind-boggling, because now you really don't know how you feel about certain situations, or maybe your viewpoints have changed on certain things or certain people, and you don't really know how to approach a situation or what to think about the situation. Because like I said, Aries kind of just move at a really quick pace, and it's not as if they don't pay attention. They do pay attention. It's just because they're flitting so quickly through their life and through the world and with people and all these other things, that they're not really looking at the minute small details. Whereas Capricorn, this energy is going to force you to look at those things. And I think that you just don't really know what to do with all this information that you're gaining. Like I said, Aries are so willing to evolve and change and grow and learn and all, and that's why you're so beautiful, because you are willing to do those things. It doesn't scare you to learn new things. It doesn't scare you to learn new traits. It doesn't scare you to learn new skill sets. That excites you. So, but as you're retaining all this knowledge and learning all of this knowledge and gaining all of this knowledge, it's like now you have the Magician card again in reverse here. She's looking at her hands and looking down, and it's almost like, Aries, you're in this energy of, okay, so I have all this information. I have all these things that I just learned. What do I do with them? How do I express how I feel about the situation? How do I bring it out into the world to let them know that I understand what's going on, that I'm following what's going on, that I'm conscious of everything. I'm conscious of others' feelings. I'm conscious of how I'm speaking to others. I communicate what I want and how I feel about things, but how do I put that all into one sentence? Because I really can't. So, that's beautiful, honestly, with that right there, with the moon being in reverse. It's not as if something negative is being revealed to you. It's almost like you have all this new knowledge and all of this new energy flowing through you, and it's like, it's almost kind of like a child learning something new, and you're like, wow, I am so intrigued by this. Like, I am so, and you just want to shout it from the rooftops. But it's just like, you want to wait and hold off because of this Hierophant energy. And this Hierophant energy is, again, it's almost like a family moral set, what I learned when I was younger, religious, upbringing, government, like school, facilities, things like that, like around that nature. And it's kind of like all the things that you learn maybe combat with that energy, combat with that, those things, lessons, things that you picked up on throughout your childhood, and it combats with that. So now you kind of are just in this frazzled state to where you're just like, I don't know how to process all this information. It's a little too much for me. So, and that's understandable when you get downloads, because that's, for me, that's what it seems like happening right now, is you're getting downloads. And it's kind of like, to you, you're kind of looking at it in awe, like, wow, this is a lot. This is a lot to take in right now. So I find it very interesting, because I want to see how you're going to really handle the situation. Now, it's, after all of that energy, it's followed by a Two of Sword energy. So that's a head or heart decision, but it's in reverse. So you've already made that decision. You already made a decision between your head and your heart. You made a clear decision on what you want to do regarding that. And maybe it is regarding how you are going to approach a certain situation within your life, or how you're going to communicate something to someone, or how you're just going to be in general. Now, I know I shuffled these cards, but the Two of Pentacles, again, is out. And we have a peek here. So we're going to take that one. Ooh. Oh my. Okay. This is going to be a kind of heavy reading. So Aries, dear Aries, you may, for the first time in your life, hit a precipice that you do not know how to move past. Because you are, so with the Magician being in reverse, I'm not taking that as a negative manipulative energy. I'm taking that more as an energy of I don't know what to do or where to go with the situation. I don't know how to progress further in the situation. And then you got the Sun card right behind that in reverse and the Moon card together. Wow. The Sun and the Moon. It's like you're having a revelation about something or an individual or a person or a certain, just a construct that you believed within yourself and in your mind to be true. And I think it's being dismantled. With you making a decision with the Two of Swords and it's followed by the Two of Pentacles, it's like you're choosing to you're still in this pro and con state with this Two of Pentacles. So you're balancing these two pentacles and you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to balance this here for a bit until I can decide what I'm going to do with it. I think this is a situation where you, Aries, have never really been presented with. So you really don't understand how to navigate the situation itself. And it's new. It's something that you are learning and it is new. At first, it probably was exciting to start into this endeavor. As of now, you are not feeling that way about this. You're just like, holy crap, what do I do? So I really do think that is the situation that we're dealing with right now. So the Wheel of Fortune being here in reverse makes a lot of sense to me, because it's like you feel as though you can't progress forward and you can't continue on within your building of your harmonious life or whatever you're trying to build within that little Aries world of yours, because you just honestly don't know how to approach it. It was like your decision, your head or heart decision was to continue trying to decide what to do about the situation. I think that's how looped up and confused you are with the situation itself. The Five of Pentacles is about feeling left out in the cold, and you have 2 5 cards in a row as well. And the Five of Cups in reverse. So it's like you feel like you're left out in the cold with something, or you don't have all the information regarding something, and maybe that's why you're hesitant to make a decision based on this. Maybe it is because you're dealing with a certain individual or maybe a family matter or something that's a little bit more complicated than a mundane everyday life decision. It's not as simple as that. And you're starting to realize that it's not as simple as that. It's not cut and dry. It's not black and white. There's gray areas as well. So with you being in that Five of Cup energy, it's like you are in despair, but it's in reverse, so you're trying to move out of that. So I do feel as though that it is an emotional thing for you to process as well. It's on a very emotional level. With an Aries, you guys can process emotions. You do understand how to process emotions. It's just kind of like a foreign area for you. You don't really, like I said, you just kind of try to stay in that lighthearted, positive energy all the time. So when you get kind of bombarded with this energy, you don't really know how to process it. I think that it's good though that this Five of Cups is in reverse, because we have a Queen of Cups falling after that. The Queen of Cups is all about being emotionally balanced, being able to navigate through your emotions successfully without having issues or problems with processing those emotions, understanding why those emotions are there, not being quick to anger or having a mental breakdown because you can't handle the emotions that you're dealing with. It's a very emotionally mature individual or person. Now this could be you. It could be you evolving. There's a lot of them that, hold on a second, let me. Okay. So this is someone who's emotionally mature and that can process through set emotions. I cannot make this. They wanted to come out. So we have the Moon card and the Sun card in reverse. So whatever realization that you had, and I think this really forced you to tap into your emotional side, or there's someone around you who is tapped into that side of themselves, and is able to help navigate you through this situation. But the more and more you navigate through the situation, the more and more is revealed to you, the more and more you start to see. And it may bring a realization with that. And then along with that, it might bring a little sadness, a little bit depression, a little bit of, you know, just really low vibrational energy that you're not used to being in. You don't enjoy being in this state. So that's why it's so uncomfortable for you. But I think it's very imperative for you to cycle through this, because it grows you as a person. It will grow you and evolve you to the next level that you need to go into. Because you always are going to be a lighthearted child at heart, no matter what. You're an Aries. That's what you do. That is literally your niche. That is your thing. So it doesn't surprise me that that's how you're going to carry yourself within this. Woo! Okay, so that was the Two of Swords. Let's move on to the Knight of Wands. Lordy, lordy. You fire signs are not messing around with the first 2 weeks of January. Jesus Lord. So, we go into the Knight of Wands energy in reverse. That's kind of like a very inconsistent energy. You can't keep up with everything around you. You can't keep up with demands. Like, you may try to reach out and promise that you might do some things. Oh my God, the Magician in reverse again. That's what I'm saying. It's like you feel like you can't get to where you need to get to. It's like you're trying to get to that point, and you feel as though you can't do it. You can't do it because you just don't have the energy, or you can't keep up with all the demands that are around you for, you know, certain things that people want you to do. And that can be frustrating for you, because it's like you want to reach out, you want to... Ooh, you have a Queen of Pentacles here. And an Ace of Cups. Okay, so yeah, you might be dealing with someone who's a very grounded, emotionally aware individual. This is your Ace of Wands, because it's followed by behind the Ace of Wands. So you may be dealing with someone who's almost a very mature energy that's around you. It's not as if you're not mature. It's just that they're more mature in aspects and areas that you really don't understand, because you really didn't navigate through them. You're not comfortable with doing that. But this person is. They're very in depth. They're very stable. They're very reliable. They're very they're there for you when they need them to be. They're very nurturing in nature. And it's followed by it's followed after all of this. Like, I find it funny that your Ace of Wands comes after this. So it's like, and then we have a Knight of Pentacles behind that. Slow moving energy. This might be someone who's just like a very slow, kind of like, I'll move towards it when I get there kind of energy. But they do have good intentions for you. I do see that. And you have an Ace of Cups followed behind them. So they bring you emotional fulfillment, and they may bring you that lesson of the emotional aspect or standpoint that you really weren't gaining on your own. They are able to, like, maybe shed some light on that for you. It's just, you've lost hope in being able to keep up with the demands of what others need from you. And I think this loss of hope regarding this certain situation is because you feel as though you are not going to be able to keep up with the emotional aspect of this side of things. You're not going to be able to be consistent with that area. And that's okay. And you may be dealing with an individual where you do want to be consistent emotionally for that person, but sometimes we need to learn how to do that. Maybe we've been previously in situations to where we couldn't really express ourselves on an emotional level without being treated like crap, or being walked all over, or being a doormat for someone else, or them taking advantage of us emotionally and mentally. And that is okay. That's past trauma. That's past events that we need to heal from. And I think that's a big lesson for you that you're actually going to realize with this person. This person is going to bring in something great for you. They are a very stable, nurturing person. And I think that's what you need within this situation right now, because there's just so much turmoil going on. And I think it's reminiscent almost to another situation that you've been in. And I'm not surprised, because the karmic wheel is starting all over again. And we were just in Scorpio. We were in retrograde. So that brings up a lot of past energies, ancestral energies, things that we've had embedded in us that we didn't even realize were there. So that makes a lot of sense right for that. I'm gonna see the Eight of Wands in reverse though. It's like you're not communicating really. Maybe it's just with a certain group of people, or certain person? Are you may not be speaking on a certain situation because you don't feel comfortable saying anything on the situation itself. So let me see. I can see that being the case because you just don't feel comfortable speaking on this situation. That's what I keep getting, is you don't feel comfortable speaking on the situation itself. You don't know how you should go about handling. Ooh, my. Okay, well, here comes. Hold on, I'm gonna get a drink. Yeah, masculine energy, the King of Swords, a very. Okay. You can tell just by the way that he looks. He's a very, very just hollow man. They don't really deal with emotions. They just speak from logic, experience, things that they've experienced or watched other people experience or observed happening around them. They speak from just logic. That's what they know. That is freaking beautiful. Interesting, Aries. So I feel as though there's no communication from your end or with an individual. And I think it's because you're taking on a very logical, very just balanced kind of energy. Doesn't feel so. That should be first. I don't feel that that's it. Okay. So what's on the bottom? Lovers and so you may not be communicating with this person because you're trying to take the higher road almost. It's like I want to communicate something to you, but I just feel as though that when I do try to communicate things with you, you kind of just blow them to the side. And maybe it's because they feel as though you're immature and they treat you in that way. Even though you are a very intellectual individual, if you are carrying this King of Sword energy, you're very intellectual. You understand how things work. But it's just, you feel, again, it's paired with, and I got this in another reading for a fire sign. I think it's like a thing for you guys this next 2 weeks, is the need to feel your independence again, to feel individualized. So you do not have to feel like you need to be something or someone for a group of people or a certain person and not be walked all over because you're not what they want you to be. Like you feel like you've lost your independence here, but with the Six of Wands and the World card, it's like you're coming into a new phase of yourself. You have reformed yourself and rebuilt yourself, which is actually really beautiful. The Six of Wands is all about victory. It's overcoming something. It's being seen and recognized for the things that we've accomplished and what we've gained and what we've learned and how we've matured over time. And again, it's not surprising to me because we are restarting our karmic cycle. And then it cycles into the King of Cups. The King of Cups, again, because I just had him, I had the Queen, is someone who is above the Queen now, is a very mature, very emotionally balanced individual. They don't really, again, they are not quick to arguments. They're not quick to confrontation. They don't see the need and the necessity in that. They are okay with just being them and being okay with the situation as it is, and not, forcing that energy onto others in order to make themselves feel adequate. You are not trying to make yourself feel adequate for anyone anymore. You are adequate for yourself, and that's okay. You are comfortable with who you are, and that's okay with you. You are fine with that. You no longer have the need to want to appease others because you see that the folly in that. There's no reason to be doing that because you just need to be yourself and fulfill yourself. Once you fill your own cup, then you can give out of that cup. If your cup is empty, you have nothing to give. You're just emptying your cup out and no one's giving back at all. So, wow, that was heavy for your present energy. We're going to cycle down into your future energy for the end of the 2 weeks, like towards the end of the 2 weeks. Perfect world. Then again, you're just working with energy, so hi. Okay, oh my jeez. Alright. The Chariot. Verse. Yeah, I feel as though there's just really heavy energy revolving around just not wanting to put your life on hold anymore for others. Not wanting to stop what you're doing within your life to appease others. You don't see the need in it. You don't see the necessity. There is no real rhyme or reason to do that. 10 of Cups in her. Ooh, overall energy on the bottom is Justice. Whew, okay. So we cycle into the Death energy, which does not mean literal death. It's a energy of transmuting and transforming and releasing negative attributes of ourselves, negative traits that we're doing, or negative toxic people around us that are not serving us. You got the 10 of Cups in reverse twice now. You are lacking emotional fulfillment within something. It's a draining, debilitating feeling. It's not very healthy for you to be in that energy either. You didn't get a wish. It's like the Ace. Okay, the Ace of Swords is right in the middle of all of this. You are. It's the Ace of Swords can go two ways, to where you are speaking your truth on something, speaking how you really feel about a certain situation or a certain individual, or it's seeing the truth. The truth comes in and you see the situation for what it is. And I think, you know, there's the 9 of Cups here in reverse, which is not getting a wish that's, or something that you were trying to manifest in. Oh my Jesus. It's like you're dealing with an individual that does not want you to release them, but you were gaining nothing from that situation. Like, it was, you have the Star card in reverse again. So it's like you weren't feeling whole, you weren't feeling optimistic, you weren't feeling yourself, you weren't feeling happy and healthy, and, you know, and the biggest thing there is optimistic. Like, when you lose, and that is like a main trait of an Aries. That is what makes you who you are. You're a very optimistic being. So when you come into this energy to where you don't feel comfortable with even doing that, it's concerning, because, you know, you understand that that needs to end. But for some reason, it's like it hurts. Either it hurts you that you didn't receive what you needed to receive from the situation and what you wanted to receive. You didn't get the situation in a state that you wanted it to be. It didn't turn out the way you wanted it to be. And that goes back up to the top part where you had the Magician upright the first time, where you're trying to manifest an Aries world. But we have to understand that there are outside conflicts that will either challenge that, or, you know, there will be friction around that. The outside world we cannot control. We cannot control others. We cannot control what they do or say or how they feel or any of those things. We cannot control that. What we can control is what's on our realm. And it's just like you've lost hope in building that, or having that happy resolution, or that happy, you know, ending. But at the end of the day, you're looking at it in a negative way, but you have something so much better coming in. You have the Ace of Wands and then the Fool card, taking a leap of faith. You have a brand new opportunity coming in, a brand new start, a fresh new beginning, to where you can do whatever you want to do. And the Fool card is you. That is Aries. You are taking the leap of faith. You are getting on your broom and flying away, flitting away into the sunset. You don't want to have all the negative attributes around you, and I don't think you will, because you're going to release it. You're going to release it, and you're going to move on to something bigger and greater that fulfills you. This needed to happen first, though. You had to see a situation for what it was. You needed to have more understanding of the situation itself. Okay, so move on to the Knight of Pentacles. See what this is about. Knight of Pentacles reverse. Tell me what this is about. That's too much. This is Knight of Pentacles. This Knight of Pentacles. I'm happy to see that card in reverse. And you have him up right now. It's this Knight of Pentacles. It's this Knight of Pentacles. Okay. Alright. I just had to see what that card was. So we have now the Four Cups in reverse, which is actually really good. We are not being focused on things that we cannot control, that we do not have control over. We are going to release that now. We are going to release and relinquish the control factor. We do not need to have control over everything. And that is literally what I said. You're not in your element and you're not in your power when you are doing that. When you are being controlling over a situation or a person or an individual or something that is unfolding before you, understand that you are not even in your element, because Aries are people who just let things flow. They naturally allow things to come to them the way that they need them to come to them. And they don't worry over small details. That's what makes you as happy as you are most of the time. Because whatever is, and you accept that. So you cycle in from that, from the Knight of Pentacles again. So it's like, it's a renewal of energy and you start moving, but you're moving at a very slow rate towards this. You're slowly moving towards this now. You're taking your time. You're taking in the things around you. You're taking in the scenery. You're paying attention to like all the things that come in and out of that existence, in and out of that journey. You are paying attention to that. And then it goes into a Eight of Pentacles energy, and then the Death in reverse, and then the Ten of Wands. So, and then, I'm sorry, the Five of Wands in reverse. So it's like you are not going to have conflict anymore. And the conflict is you were too busy. You got so wrapped up in trying to shove things down people's throats, maybe, because Aries can be that way sometimes. No offense. That's okay, because Aquarians can be like that too. 100%. We don't know how to not do that. We are too busy trying to shove our opinions down everyone's throats. And that's what gets you in that place of that tension, that drama, that conflict, because it upsets people. It makes people mad, because it's just like, you know, you were trying to push on that that opinion or that viewpoint, and I understand completely why you're doing that, because you come from a place of compassion, you come from a place of passion. So when you feel something deeply and you feel something as strongly as you guys do, you tend to get in that kind of energy to where you just kind of want to just get it out so people understand what you're trying to tell them and what you're trying to show them, and you just want them to listen. But at the end of the day, again, we do not have control over what others decide to do. They can decide not to listen. They can decide just to walk away and turn their backs on you, and that's okay. You can be okay with that. It's all right. Move on to the next thing. So you're starting to put in this Eight of Pentacles energy again. So you're starting to work on maybe developing this skill. Like maybe you're honing in on this skill. You're building a new skill set for yourself. We'll put it that way. You're building a new skill set for yourself that you're going to now, you know, work on and, you know, nurture and try to grow and try to, you know, really flourish that new skill set that you are now coming into. And you want to build it and change it and do all these things. But with the Death card in reverse, it's showing me that you're not releasing something. And it may be because it's going to be hard for you. This is not a process that's going to be easy for you, because I guess in a sense you are going through you're transmuting yourself. You are transforming, you're evolving, you're ascending. So the next, for ascension, this is kind of almost, it ties into your ego base. So you're chipping away and taking a part away from your ego, and you're trying to replace that with a positive, more healthier way of processing with this. It's not going to be an easy thing though. But with the Ten of Wands being in reverse following that, it's so uplifting to you. It's so, it literally lifts so much weight off your shoulders, because you're like, wow, it really doesn't matter if this person listens to me or not. It really doesn't matter if, you know, they choose my opinion over theirs. It doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. I don't always have to be right. And that's what it really just boils down to. You don't always have to be right in that person's eyes, because everybody has their own personal truth. It's his truth, her truth and the actual truth. That's just what it is. And the actual truth is not even the truth as well, because the actual truth came from somebody else. It's just recycled information and opinion and emotions and all these things combobbled into one thing. And you're starting to realize that. So it's a little bit hard for you to process it, but I feel like that you will. You will be successful. Now, will you be a little bit energetically bouncy and uneven? Yes. I feel as though you will, because the Chariot in reverse is following behind that. And that's kind of like uneven energy, like you're sending out energy, but it's going everywhere. It's not in one consistent form or like, direction. It's not going into one singular direction. So that being said, it's okay, because all fire signs kind of deal with that. You guys have so much freaking energy, and that's what's admirable about you, is so much energy, so much just bam pow energy. And sometimes, like I said, it gets overwhelming to the point to where you can't really control that. You try to harness it, you try to control it, but it takes time. This takes time to do. You're harnessing so much energy and so much power that you have inside of you, and you're trying to consolidate that to just one singular thing, and you're like, I don't know, I can multitask, I'm really good at that. And that's great for mundane things and everyday things. That's not great for, conquering the world or taking down the president, or, we're gonna do one step at a time. Okay. Yeah, 7 of Wands up right here. Okay, so you feel, I want to say this is upright. You feel so bogged down, and your energy is just so all over the place that you probably at this point feels very, very, very overwhelmed, which is completely understandable, which puts you in that very on guard energy. It's like a competitive energy, but for me right now, I don't take that as competitive. I take it more along the lines of, I need to guard myself and protect myself because I feel weak right now. Like, I don't know what's going on, and I don't know how to place all things and figure everything out as quickly as everybody else is doing around me, and I just really need everyone to back off because, I'm in defense mode now. Like, I'm defending myself. And like I said, and you're trying to find your path. That's why you're so overburdened, because you're like, okay, so now where do I go from here? What do I do from this point on? How do I handle this? What am I trying to do? What's my inlying goal? What am I doing? And that's good energy to be in, because now he's laser focusing. See that laser focus? I'm laser focusing my energy now. And that's probably why you're on guard, and why you feel so burdened, because the Justice card is right behind. Because there's a lot of people around you who are draining and taking. And that's what I really do get from this. They're draining you, and you feel worn the hell out, and you feel trapped as well, because you just want to move on. You don't want to continue on in this game. You don't want to, and you have 7 of Cups twice in reverse here. Twice. And it's because you don't want any more confusion. You're seeing through all the illusions. You're breaking through all of those barriers, and you're ripping them down because you just want to see the raw, real thing. And you will take no less, because you are an Aries. That's what you love. You love the raw truth. You love the raw, real thing. That's what you want. And, just really regaining your independence back. In order to regain your independence, you feel as though you need to cycle through and work towards, finding the truth in matters. Maybe this situation itself. So the 7 of Cups, we've already explained that one. Makes a lot of sense of why you feel that way. You just want to see through the bullshit. And who would blame you? I don't blame you. You want to see everything as clear as day. Then we have the 10 of Cups in reverse again at the bottom here. So I'm going to go ahead and cycle through that, and then we'll end the reading because we are already at 50 minutes. So, what's this 10 of Cups in? Oh, there's a Tower moment coming. It's a Tower moment with a connection you have. 4 of Wands with a Tower. So it's a connection you have with someone, and it's family based. It's family based. So this is something, and it needs to happen. Justice card keeps showing itself. The Knight of Wands. You're searching for the truth. You're searching for justice. The justice for you is the truth. I want to know the truth. What is the truth? I want to know the truth. I want to hear it. And maybe that is the Tower moment, seeing the fault in this connection, or seeing the lies or whatever is built on this connection, or this foundation that's been built with this individual. You're starting to see that, and it's bothering you. So the justice is give me the information that I need. I am seeking that information. Tell me the truth, is what I keep hearing. Tell me the truth. You want the truth about something. Because it's like you can't move forward without hearing it. And it has to be from this individual. You won't be able to move forward until you hear it. Until you gain that clarity. You're not going to be able to move forward from it. And I think that's so beautiful. And then you have the Chariot on the bottom, upright this time. It's like now you know how to move forward with the situation. You need a broad view of what the situation is bringing and why it wreaks so much havoc within you, and why it bothered you so much and triggered you so much. And there's a reason why. And instead of running from it, I find it admirable that you're going straight towards it. You're going straight towards it. You're like, I'm going to find out what is going on in this situation. I want to know. So I'm going to do what I have to do that. And I do wish you luck on that, because it's going to be, I feel it's going to be a very heavy, whatever it is, whatever you encounter, whatever truth that you gain from the situation is going to be a heavy truth. It's not going to be easy to hear, but I feel as though that's what you want. So you stay in this energy. You just need to keep communicating with compassion and passion from within and being yourself. Look at her. Look how much power she has. She has no time for no bullshit. So, and she can see right through your shit. So I do wish you luck on that. I really do, because sorry. My camera's acting wonky. That's a sign that I need to end the win. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So I do wish you luck on that, Aries. I really do, because that is a very heavy thing for you to go through, but I feel as though you are strong enough and you are able enough to cycle through that. And I will see you within the next 2 weeks, and we will see where you're sitting with that and how you're handling that situation. Because again, I feel as though you will handle that situation the best way that you know how, because you will gain all the information you need and you will go with that information accordingly. And I love you, Aries, and I will see you within the next